Who's your friend?
Oh, this is Willoughby,
Oh
my
my
little
gosh. Hi, Willoughby.
my
So
little.
cute. Oh my
Um,
God.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about disassociation. I was on. I've talked to you one other time in the past about from some bad abuse I had. I feel like my soul left my body when I was about 7, and then ever since then, everything has kind of felt dark and unrealistic to me. But as I have these insights, I've been feeling more and more like not wanting to go out and just feeling so disassociated that I feel like I'm a character in a play. And it's almost like a scary, you feel like you talk about feeling into what that disassociation feels like. And I can feel that filter, and it's like I just want to swim out of it or something. And yeah, I'm just looking for some pointers as to where to go from. Is there something that I can do to, I'm just looking for a pointer, I guess. Yeah, to deal with that.
Sure. Totally. Yeah. I can give you a very simple one. First of all, you probably know dissociation is a trauma response.
Mhm,
However, some people just have more propensity for it.
mhm.
And I've met people who I'm not even sure have that significant of trauma, but they tend to dissociate. So some people just do it more than others, but it's a response to intensity is what ends up happening. An intensity of experience, an intensity of emotion could be a response to confusion, but it's a response that in a sense moves you away from an experience very profoundly. So it makes sense in younger life in a way, like to that child who has nowhere to go, especially if they're overwhelmed by trauma in a moment. There's nowhere they can go other than to dissociate. So to them, that's their only coping mechanism if it's intense enough, right? So I guess you could say it's as healthy of a coping mechanism as they have at that time. For the adult, that you have other choices and you don't need that coping mechanism anymore. But as the way our psyche is hooked up, we often carry coping mechanisms from childhood into adulthood. In fact, we pretty much always do unless we address them. So it's a remnant, it's a leftover. But as you described, it starts to feel what you described sounds a little like derealization, like this is unreal, or some people describe it as depersonalization.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what you're experiencing is a disconnection from yourself, but there's also a physiologic model for it, which is called dorsal vagal shutdown. That our bodies are actually probably designed such that if the intensity of trauma or the intensity of experience is enough, we can actually dissociate. Which, maybe when we were evolving and we were attacked by a lion or something, maybe that's probably the best case scenario is we can actually dissociate from the experience somehow or something. But again, when we start doing it chronically and we can't get back, or we do it so frequently that it starts limiting our activities in life and so forth, it can be rather problematic, right? So that's the basis of what I'm going to say. Um, there's a very simple mechanism of reversing it, simple, but not always easy because the habit is strong. But the simple truth of it is when you start to dissociate, it's recognizing that there's something you're physically dissociating from. There's an emotion coming, appearing, or already there. There's a sensation somewhere in the body that the dissociation is actually trying to avoid. Not that it actually needs to, but again, it's a habit. It's just a habit that's left over, a habituated pattern. So finding your way back into the body is really key. Finding your way back into the sensations is key. And I've talked to people who dissociate so completely that they literally will tell me, I do not feel my body at all. I can't find a sensation in my body. And I've had it to the point where non-facetiously, I tell them, pinch yourself. Feel the pain of pinching yourself. Oh, I can feel that. Good. Now let it go. Can you still feel the surface of your skin? Yeah, I can feel that. Okay, can you move that up your arm a little bit? Can you move it inward? So little by little, even if you have to pinch yourself or touch something cold or hot or whatever, little by little, reacquainting and reorienting your attention back into the body is really the process of breaking the spell of dissociation. That's the mechanism. Modality wise, there are potent modalities for this. One specifically that you can look up if you want to do it. It's a kind of therapy, but it's a short-term therapy. It's not like weeks and months. It's a couple rounds of it. It's called PSIP. and it's
Mm.
psychedelic based. But it's a pretty potent therapy from what I've seen, and I know facilitators of it. And there are facilitators all over the U.S. at least, probably in Canada, probably some in Europe. I'm not sure. So you could look that up if you want and try it. I've known people who have had pretty impressive effects from that. And it's about the very intensive way they guide you during a process, showing you how dissociation works, showing you how not to dissociate when there's intensity of experience. So that's one modality you can consider. Trauma therapy, of course, if you find a good trauma therapist. Um, the circling events I talk about that we're doing, the deep shadow process, is really good as well. And that's just a matter if you can get to one or whatever. So those are the kind of things I would suggest. But I want you to know you can do something yourself for sure. The other thing, there's a woman called oh, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to find the post or refer you to it, but Christiane Meckelberger. She's German. She does the Feder model type stuff, but she wrote a post in Facebook somewhere on reafferentation of the vagus nerve. You can find stuff on this. There's scientific stuff on this, and there are things that actually help you do that. To reafferentation of the vagus nerve is to reverse the dorsal shutdown and get you back into the ventral experience of the vagus nerve or whatever. And it apparently has shown they can actually reafferent the nerve and so forth. So the things that are described are simple things like partner dancing, like swing dancing, partner dancing, physical touch, cuddle parties. Like if you never heard of it, some people may think that sounds weird, but they really are just cuddle. They're not like sexual or anything. It's people go just to be in contact. But these actually work. It turns out. And Christiane Meckelberger, who wrote about this, said it worked for her and she had to do a good amount of it because she had dissociation. So that's another different avenue. And you can look all this stuff up and check it out and see what you want to do. But I would just know that you're going to have to do something that's uncomfortable a lot of times. And that sometimes, I don't think you're that person, but I've met dissociators who are like, I don't want to do anything. And it's
Mm.
like, that's not going to, if you have dissociation hand in hand with a massive avoidance tone in life, that's not a good combination. You got to be willing to do some work and feel some discomfort. But there's a way to come back from this for sure.
I really want to dig into it. I did had a session with Kogan, and he actually mentioned the PSIP. And I'm here in Canada, and I was actually booked for your retreat in May, but with the way things were going with politics and stuff, I wanted
Mhm.
to do that circling so bad. I was so looking forward to it, but it just became not the right thing to do. So I'm hoping that you'll have another coming up a retreat coming up that I can participate in that. But for me, the disassociation is something, it's never gone away. I don't go into it and out of it. Sometimes it's worse than other times, but it's always here. So I
Yeah.
don't know if the filter that you talk about of it, if that's normal for me and I just have a double filter because of my trauma, or if it's just the same as everybody else when you talk about because I feel like, yeah, like a character in a play. Like I walk around my house going, am I really here? It's awful. And the
Hmm.
more I
I
get into
understand.
the awakening process, the more intense it's becoming. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do somatic practices like qigong, yoga, things where you physically move and then you have to put attention in your body to do it properly? That may be really helpful as well.
I do the TRE. I have to
Okay.
push myself to do it, but I have done that, and my body spontaneously goes into TRE quite often.
Mhm.
Yeah, but other than
Okay.
that, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
don't.
So it's going to be somatic, somatic, somatic for you, one way or another. It's really getting back into that body in a very physical
Yeah.
way. And then the
Okay.
mind process will follow. The mind might argue with that and go, well, that's not going to change my derealization or whatever. But the mind stuff is ultimately it's a side effect of the dissociation. The dissociation is a massive movement away from body sensations,
Yeah.
essentially, and using the sort of dorsal vagal shutdown to various degrees. So you can find your way through this. For sure. And we'll do what we can to help you. So the other person you might want to talk to is Chad. Right now, he's actually you can sign up for free. Um, he's probably going to get overloaded now that I said that publicly, but it's nothinghishidden.com, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, he's good. He can guide you through some somatic stuff and um, but it's another voice, another person to work one on one with, and he's really good.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, let's go to Andrea.
Hi, Angelo, Pamela, everyone. Um, so my question has a little bit to do with dissociation and meditation. So I started meditating like 20 years ago, and I went there just through deep, deep suffering, trying to get out of my suffering. And my life significantly changed for the better. I will say 80% of my suffering went away in 10 years or so. And so, however, the 20% feels like 100 most of the time, mostly in my work situation. And what happens to me is I continue meditating and it really brings me into a place of detachment, which works very good for me because I feel I can dissociate from my surroundings and my suffering at work. Um, and I just wondering if that is the right, well, and also I wanted to say that I never thought that I will be thinking or working towards Kensho, because for me, my path was the end of suffering, and that's I thought that's the only thing that existed. And then through you, I learned about awakening, and that it was possible in this life to do that. So in some ways, I'm searching for something else right now. Um, but at the same time, I'm very attached to not suffer so intensely at work because it happens pretty much at least once a week, and meditation really grounds me. So, two questions. The first one will be if what I am doing is a pacifying uh, way of getting away with suffering. And the second question is to get a pointer towards what else to work um, to work towards Kensho, basically.
Okay, Pamela, would you like to start?
Why don't you start this one?
Sure. Um, so my sense is with the work stuff is you mentioned, at least once a week you'll have something that feels like suffering. Um, I feel like addressing that directly, like how can I stop suffering at work, and make it so I don't even feel it once a week, will be like a an act of futility because it's such a moving target, first of all, and second of all, um, it's probably not as much that you have that moment of suffering at work or that challenge that comes up as the resistance to it or the belief it shouldn't be like that right now. That's maybe causing some challenge in the system. That's my sense just listening to you. Um, I guess I'm more interested in um, what is your instinct for moving toward like insight right now, your true nature right now, digging deeper into the nature of who and what you are. Do you have a like an orientation to that?
I think I do have the orientation, but when the this intensity of really the suffering comes from feeling deeply rejected, and it happens at work, right? That is so intense that I somewhat forget about insight or awakening, and I just wanted to solve that. That becomes the focus of my existence, basically.
Sure. So two things. One is somewhat what I said before is still I think is kind of true. It's that can happen in that moment. When you're outside of that moment, like are you thinking about it all week long and like reflecting and that yeah. So then that tells me like you got to go after the shadow material there. Like really look at that feeling of the fear of abandon. Would you say the fear of rejection actually?
Yeah.
So
No
tell
fear.
me,
No, it's not fear. It's pure rejection. It's
okay, what does rejection mean to you in just simple terms? Like what might you don't have to give away like any major details, but like what are you is it something about someone rejecting the work you're doing or
well, it's like I've been living in the States for 30 years. I am never good enough to match the level of whatever I'm find in a working situation. Like I'm always the I'm kind of the token, in the organizations. I'm the Latina, I'm the immigrant, so I check many boxes
Hmm.
and I'm getting in that spot, but I'm never able to really develop, you know,
Hmm. Yeah.
as a, you know, I have a lot of capacities, but I don't have the space to develop those capacities because uh, I just, people don't think I am good enough to match the level of leadership of a
Mm.
company.
Do you think that the do you think it's the job is well, first of all, do you think that that there's something fundamental about the management of this company that's just not going to allow that?
Yeah,
Are you willing to stay satisfied by just staying in this job and not going higher up, or are you willing to really like do something
exactly.
different?
That's what happened because the pain is so deep. I go deep in meditation, so I go to work the next day and I'm just in cloud nine. It doesn't affect me. Then something else happened. So I'm in this cycle
Hmm.
of um of filtering out much of this suffering until something happened, until something shows me, okay, I'm at talking, that's right. And it's this constant cycle
Yeah.
that I manage through
Hmm.
meditation, basically, or
Hmm.
the effects of going
Yeah,
deep.
yeah, yeah, it's without talking about like a bunch of specifics about your job. I guess I'm like thinking, this may have more of a practical answer,
Right.
but I can't make that for you. Like I can't make the decision for you, but you know, you may have to really feel into like
Yeah.
if I either have to really, really deeply accept that this situation is not going to change with this particular management structure, or I need to make a decision to go elsewhere. Like, and I don't know that's how I would look at it myself.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I know that's easy. It's easy to say and hard to like realize the logistics of it. Yeah.
I totally hear you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pamela, what you got?
So a couple things. So one of them is I totally feel your pain just as far as like systemic injustice exists or systemic like I was a female in a physics department in college. So you can imagine like I would talk to my male TA and he would respond to my male partner, that kind of thing. So we can't solve that right here, right now, probably, but I can say that this process is not about filtering out suffering. That's really not the point. The point is to go straight to the suffering, go through it. So like so much of like modern therapy and stuff is about like you get right to the suffering. It's like no, get some medication. So give yourself some little like new habit forming, and get away from that suffering. And it's like that's gonna keep you like treading water for your entire life. You have to go straight into the suffering. Um, and this relates to Lisa, the previous questioner too, which is I was dissociated from my body for like 43 years. And then I did a Vipassana retreat, which is like 10 hours a day of meditation. And, the retreat itself was interesting, but the most like salient part of the whole thing was when these two girls, I call them like the Instagram twins, like they kind of annoyed me anyway. And then they snitched on me for having an electronic when I was sort of checking on my kids for like 3 minutes during the dinner hour. And so I kind of like got in trouble and I had to, hand over my electronics and whatever. And I was just like boiling with like sort of like rage and the injustice. And that was like triggered like from when I was bullied in middle school. and then extra triggered because my parents didn't back me up. And it was just like, I was a human lava lamp of just like rage and all this kind of stuff. And I had nowhere to put it. I couldn't go on Facebook. I couldn't go complain to my husband. I couldn't like go drink. It was just like, shit, I got to sit here with this lava lamp of sensation going through my body. And and it was kind of like that was kind of the breakthrough moment when I was like, oh, that's what I've been avoiding for 43 years. And so it's like little by little, well, I don't know. Like, it's been 2 years since then. But yeah, it's been like a lot of shadow work in the past 2 years. And as it happens, I develop more capacity for it. So I'm able to sort of open the channel more and more so that more can go through. And like with less resistance, it's less painful. It can still be quite unpleasant because it's kind of like rotten sludge, you know, that's kind of what it can feel like. But if it passes through, then it's out, like it's gone. And it's like a fine line between suffering and relief. And and it can go on for a while. It's not a quick fix by any means, in my experience. So um yeah, that's my
Thank you.
I wish I had something. I wish I could give you a pill or something and make it easier,
And
but
yeah, I guess my main question was how how much time to allow for suffering and when it's time to change so that I can continue with with awakening process. That's and I understand your answer about sitting with a rage, but this being too long, that was my feeling. So too long of suffering without solution. So um but I hear you.
You know,
I
simplest answer I can give to this is this is what I do when things are complicated and there's a lot of moving parts or like the implications of making a decision or whatever are high. I really just go with my gut. I just go all the way down. It's like, okay, what's the right thing to do here? And then I trust that. Even if it's hard to do, hard decision to make, that's just what I do. And it seems to work for me in kind of situations that have a lot of gravity. But I can't say that will work for everybody. I don't know.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. All right. Nice to see you. Let's see. We're gonna go to Ray.
Hey Angelo, hey Pamela, hi everyone.
Hey there.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to. I caught myself kind of like rehearsing what I was gonna say, and I sort of, I guess I kind of want to want it all to come in the moment, and um, so it's just been a really difficult couple of days for me, and I feel like sort of the everything in my relative life, so to speak, is kind of been really intense and is kind of like it's kind of falling apart in a lot of ways, like everything that um
Can you give yourself a second to really feel this?
ugh,
Just let it come. Just let it come through. Just let it come through.
ugh, um yeah, so yeah, it's all just been really I guess there's been a lot of hopelessness and despair.
Hmm.
Um and it's really odd for me. I, so
Just feel this. Feel it. Yeah. Don't try to explain it. Feel it. Good. Feel it. We're with you, man. I got you. Just feel it. Hopelessness is pointing to an emotion. Always. It's saying I'm feeling hopeless because I'm trying not to feel that. So instead, just feel it. Good. What's coming up for you right now?
I don't even know how to answer that question, really.
Yeah, you don't have to answer it intellectually at all. You don't even have to answer it. I'm just curious if there's something important or salient. Mostly it's about feeling through this.
I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of doubt,
Hmm.
right? Like there's this feeling of like, oh, feeling this isn't gonna solve my problems, and this isn't the
Yeah.
there's like a
Those
lot
thought
of yeah,
those thoughts are great when the emotion's not very intense. They'll work.
yeah,
When the emotion's intense enough, those thoughts don't work anymore. The emotion's just pounding. It's like, come on, I need to be felt. I need to be felt. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so it's just been a really kind of disorienting experience for me because on the one hand, there are times when I can recognize that, that there are the thoughts, and it's kind of like this veneer over experience that, is essentially inconsequential. But then, I'll have these several day long spans where it's just like everything it feels so intensely wrong,
Hmm.
and the thoughts come quickly, and sometimes I wake up out of sleep just with this like anxiety or worry about just everything that comes up feels wrong,
Hmm.
and um
That's like a funnel. You know what a funnel looks like, where it's like big at the top and then it goes smaller and smaller and smaller. That's the top of the funnel and it gets thinner and thinner. It's funneling you into what you're feeling now. You're more down the bottom of the funnel now. You're in a good place. But
oh
it
boy.
it might be really unfamiliar for you. Like it may be unfamiliar to process emotion this directly or this emotion or whatever it is, but that's you've already funneled yourself down through those thoughts. Just being honest. Like, your thoughts aren't going to save you anymore. Like you're not here. You got to really just go through that feeling. So, for instance, what I'm saying is, I know the thoughts can say, well, that's not going to solve anything. To sit here and feel an intense emotion, that's not solving anything. It's not solving anything in the way the mind thinks of life being put together. For instance, let's say your life's a total tire fire right now. Yeah, you can go back into that tire fire feeling all of this angst, or you can go back into that tire fire feeling actually pretty in place. You can actually go back into that feeling like, oh, actually, I'm okay. This is a mess. Yeah. But, I've been in messes before. We'll clean the mess up or we'll get through the mess. So, what I'm pointing to is like, it's for you, like you've been, as we all do, dealing with all the responsibilities of life, taking care of things for others and, whatever it all is. But sometimes you got to really address you, and feel what you need to feel.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like kind of what's at the base of this all, what's at the base of this feeling, and kind of everything that has is just a feeling of not good enough.
Hmm.
And that is a
Yeah.
feeling like that's directed sort of at myself as a person, and
Hmm.
somehow that permeates to like everything else around me as well.
Yeah.
And it's
Well, let's
just
let's
when,
feel
yeah.
it closely now. What does it feel like? Let's just feel not good enough. Just feel what it feels like just be not good enough for now. And don't try to fix it. Be broken for now. We don't have to worry about later. Let's just feel it now. Let's feel what's here. And don't try to run from it. Or if you see an attempt to run or think or dissociate, just notice and come back to the feeling of not good enough. Because there's some truth to it, right? We're all not really good enough. We're all gonna find ourselves in peril at times. We're gonna find ourselves in challenges we can't surmount. It's gonna happen. So there is a part of that that's true. But what we can do is feel it. We have access to that. What's coming up for you here? What's that emotion?
I don't really know. I don't really have a description for it. Like I I've got the thoughts that are still coming up about,
Yeah.
like you got to take care of your kids later. Like you're in a hard spot right now, and like you might be not be, doing well enough to take good care of them.
Hmm.
Um, that's
I
the
understand what your
thoughts.
thoughts are
Yeah,
saying. I totally get it.
yeah. And as far as like what I'm feeling, like in this moment, I don't know. It's something like neutrality, which seems confusing,
Hmm.
Like it's
Hmm. That's okay. Confusion, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
It's like a weird letdown almost. Like
Hmm.
there's
Do you feel like anything's being held back?
um yeah.
Okay, good. Go to that. Go to the feeling of holding it back, whatever. Forget what it is for now. Just feel what it feels like to hold it back. Feel how long that's been there and how exhausting it is. Stay with it. We're just exploring experience. That's all we're doing. What if you didn't have to hold it back? You're getting in there. I would keep working in this way. These questions I'm asking you, you can do it on your own as well.
Okay.
Um, the reason I'm asking the questions the way I am is I'm literally watching your face. You can do it in the mirror if you want. I'm watching your face, your neck. I'm watching what's going on, and um, get in tune with it. I totally understand all the challenges going on and your kids and all that, and you care about them more than anything. I understand all that. That's the case, period. And you can also dig a little deeper into this, and it can really change the kind of layout, experiential layout of everything.
Yeah.
Something it looks to me, I can't speak for you. It looks to me like something's wanting to come up. Something's wanting to be felt, be expressed, move, get unstuck, something like that. I might be wrong, but it just that's kind of what it looks like. And in the questions, you seem to endorse it a little bit. So you can unpack that. You can sit with it some and give it permission. You might be surprised. It may just break through too. It often does that very randomly. At some point, you'll just be like, oh shit, here it comes. And when it comes, it's going to feel good. That's why I'm like, explore the holding back and see the cost of that. There's a tremendous cost to holding back. We all do it, but there's a tremendous cost to it. So, yeah,
I appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you.
man,
Thank you.
you're very welcome. Pamela, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I really felt with you through the not good enough, um, the feeling, because that's a filter that has purchase within me still, so, some degree of it. And not only like I'm not good enough, but also the universe is not good enough. And like how if I'm not good enough and the universe is not good enough, then what the hell do my instincts mean, you know? Um, And, you know, I understand that's a filter, but it's still energetically to some extent in place. And sort of the more I can go right to the heart of that, because it's painful, it's awful. It's like it's old and moldy, you know, it's been stuck down there so long. Um, and something else I wanted to say. But yeah, the sense of the universe itself or me being wrong, it's like one thing that helps a little bit, even just sort of like mentally, is like, what's the alternative? Is there another universe? Is there another person I could be? You know, it's like I'm kind of stuck with this, so might as well like figure out how to make the most of it. And you know, a big part of that is whatever wants to be felt is actually the right thing to be felt. Whatever instinct you have is actually the right instinct because there's no other instincts. It's you're kind of stuck with it, so you might as well go with it. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I wish you all the best. I have a couple kids too. I know.
Yeah.
I know what it's like.
Thank you,
Thanks, Ray.
guys. Yeah.
Right on, man. Let's go to Carol.
Hi, Angela.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty well, I think. Yeah. Feel good.
Um, I don't know what I want to say, but basically, my dog's gonna bark now. Can you stop him from barking? Can you stop him?
Hey, come on.
You know, I don't know how I got here, and I've gone through many shifts, and I've been going through this for many years. I see myself going through different energies that I hold, like dysfunctional energies that I hold. I process through them. So there's a part of me that wants to know what I'm doing and where I'm going. But when I watch you, I have no idea what you're talking about. So, and I don't want to know, but I do want to know, but I don't want to know because that'll just give my brain something else to do.
She doesn't.
Stop it. So, like right now, I'm experiencing a lot of thoughts, and I know what to do with thoughts, but a lot of thoughts that it's like they just come in waves of times I felt like I did something wrong or felt embarrassed or something like that. And the other thing that I'm experiencing a lot, and you touched on it not too long ago, was like our physical vulnerability, you know, feeling more scared of things. But I don't know what to do. Like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to give myself something else to do. But, you know, I want to move along the process too. You know, I want to get there, you know?
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Awesome. Okay, thank you. Pamela, would you like to start?
Yes. So my advice at this point, when I'm kind of when I was at these kind of points, is just do something way outside your comfort zone. Like just pick something that you're like, that's kind of the last thing I want to do, and then do it. Like circling for me, that was kind of like, you know, it's pretty. I don't know. I was kind of a wreck in the lead up to the circling, and it's really exquisitely vulnerable. But you're in a space where vulnerability is not only supported, but it's like the coin of the realm.
What
You
is
know?
circling? I
So,
don't really know what that is.
so if you there's a documentary called The Work that that's an example of it. Yeah, we can send a link or something. But what's Angela? What's the website?
InsideCircle.org.
Yeah, that's the one. There's all kinds of info. So, but it's basically people, you know, sitting in a circle, and then the leader will kind of talk to someone and just sort of draw out like what's their deepest, darkest secret, basically, or what needs to be expressed most intensely right now. And then he sort of devises a scenario for sort of expressing or acting that out, and everybody supports them. And it's just, it's hard to describe succinctly, but it's incredible. And I feel like it literally just burst my heart open, and it felt like a fire hose was coming out, you know. Um, and I think that was like kind of a, yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I mean, pick something if you can outside of your comfort zone and go try it, and kind of, you know, go from there. That's my advice.
Yeah, I agree. I think, you know, anything that's going to really get into the deep stuff, shadow stuff, this type of circling we're talking about, insidecircle.org, or the stuff that if you see, I make announcements on the channel and give away spots to it. I've been doing it for a while now. Yeah, so make sure you're watching those. That kind of stuff is really powerful that Pamela was describing. It's a process that's been developed over decades by James McCleary and some others. But aside from that, I wanted to say the point about I don't want to do anything because I can tell that doing something just turns it into a mental thing or seeking, you know, at the same time, I want to do something. I want to address this. This may sound like a semantic point, but it's actually not. Notice the doing and non-doing themselves are thoughts.
Right.
99% of everything you do all day when you get up and move your body and do this and do that, you're not thinking about it. You're not actually going, oh, now I'm going to pick up the pencil. I'm going to turn it this way. I'm going to set it on there. Now I'm going to turn. You're not doing that, right?
Right.
The mind co-ops and says, oh, I'm in charge. I'm doing this. I'm not doing that. But doing and non-doing both are really thoughts. So you don't have to approach practice and insight and investigation through either one of those lenses. You really don't. The inquiry is already happening. The inquiry can be happening right now when you just let go of doing and non-doing and see, like, oh my God, there's this penetrating query or curiosity about the nature of the sensation here. And I'm just saying that in words, but it's just already there. I don't have to do that. It's not a doing, but it's also not a non-doing in that it's not a hesitation. Hesitation and non-doing can turn into dissociation, or it can turn us into fantasy and things like that. Overly doing turns us into this mental idea of agency that's becomes obsessive, right?
Right.
And neither one of those are necessary. In fact, neither one of those are doing anything, actually. They're just taking credit for everything. So starting to like look at quote unquote practice that way is helpful. And one way of saying it is it starts to, instead of, we'll just call it practice, but meditation, inquiry, all the work and so forth, instead of it feeling like it's coming from a place of doership, there is a switchover that happens in deeper realization where it starts to feel like it comes from a place of spontaneity, actually. Spontaneity is, and it's not your spontaneity, it's the spontaneity of all of this. That is the practice itself. And the practice flowers from that rather than flowering from someone actually doing the practice and directing their life in a spiritual way. There's no spiritual or non-spiritual anymore. You know that. You're clear on this, right? There's no mundane and divine. All of that are just conceptual designations. There's just what is, and that is your lens of experience and your lens of process and your lens of shadow work. It's all going to happen right here now. And yeah, you're right there. It's just sometimes those little sticky designations trying to say, is it this or is it that? Is it integration? Is it disintegration? Is it masculine? Is it feminine? That's just the mind trying to find a side. But you're going to learn to live without sides. You're going to learn to live without context because you don't need it. And it's a wonderful way to live.
That's what I want.
You're there. You really are. But it's neither. You don't realize that you're there through wanting and desire and drive and clinging, nor do you realize you're there through telling yourself there's nothing to do and there's no one here. And both of those are conceptual. It's like feel into it, hear into it, move the body, see how it moves spontaneously. Notice the sounds are spontaneous. It's all very spontaneous. It's all just appearing. Yeah.
I can feel that. I can feel
Good.
a dropping.
Yep.
Yeah.
And once you do some shadow work and you get to some of those deep structures that are just still a little sticky in there, as Pamela said, it frees a lot up. You're just like, boom, all of a sudden you drop in very easily now. It's just here. It's like, oh shit, it was the gravity and polarity of that trauma that was stuck in there that I was totally unaware of or largely unaware of. That's what was drawing me into this seeming dichotomy between body and mind and seeking and all of it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's like those two things together are gonna settle this out for you. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes for you
Thank you. I
over the next
appreciate talking to you. Thank you for your
year
help.
or so. It was really nice talking to you.
And I just want to say,
You have a lot more insight than you realize, I'll tell you that.
yeah, I kind of understand that. It's just, when I listen to you, I kind of want to understand what you're saying, but I'm like, I just listen to you, and
Yeah.
I think kind of part of it, not understanding, it comes through more energetically
That's
than
right.
it does through the mind, and that's okay.
That's
You
what
know,
that's
it's
what
just,
I'm doing.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
You're hearing what I'm saying. If somebody listens
Yeah,
to what I'm saying and they're going, "Oh, I get everything you're saying." I'm like, I don't know if I get everything I'm saying. I don't even know why I'm saying it, and I also don't remember anything I said. I'm trying to relate that. It's a resonance, and if you're getting the
right.
resonance, it doesn't matter what I'm talking about. It doesn't
That's
matter
what
if
I kind
you
of feel
understand
like.
the
It's like
terms.
you're really not saying anything, and you're really not talking to me.
That's right.
Yeah. And I just want to
Beautiful.
say, I so appreciate everybody's sharing and vulnerability in these circles. It's beautiful. It's honestly
Hmm.
beautiful. And I just want to thank everybody.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, everyone. That's the end of our journey today. I want to thank Pamela. And Pamela, will you give us just a couple of resources that you have that people can look up? And these will all be under the video in the description, by the way, but just how they can see your stuff and or get a hold of you if they want to.
Sure. My website is pamolson.org, PAMOLSON.org. And there's a free PDF of my book, Fast Times in Palestine, available. I got the rights back from my publisher, so I could give that book away. And there's also a link to a book by my friend Mohammed Omer El Ghayr called On the Pleasures of Living in Gaza, which just came out. I edited the book. I don't get any revenues from it, but it's a wonderful book and I recommend it. And yeah, I have a YouTube channel that's basically, it's just me processing my own process, but it'll be linked below as well.
Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone, for your vulnerability. Thank you for your honesty. It really does help everyone listening. It opens things for people all the time when someone comes up and shares. You're not the only one going through it, that's for sure. And yeah, I really appreciate you all. So thanks again, and we'll see you all soon.